Merrill Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.
.3 ABC Illawarra, good morning. It's coming up to 6 to 10. We've played the big intro. We've said good morning. And without further ado, time for Tech Talk. Matthew Dickerson, good morning.
Pete, good morning. How are you going? Don't you love it when technology all works absolutely perfectly?
Absolutely. Happens all the time when you deal with technology every day, as you would know.
Indeed.
Now, I hope they didn't have those sort of issues with the satellite.
No, not at all. And this is actually really good news for Australia. The announcement last year when the new iPhone was announced was that one of the exciting features was that if you're out in the middle of nowhere with no mobile phone reception, then you could rely on satellite technology to actually connect your phone, which was a huge breakthrough because satellite phones are normally pretty big. They've got a big, ugly antenna. You pay a lot of money to be connected to a satellite service. But the good old iPhone that just looked normal on the outside would allow you to connect to satellites in an emergency. And that was all very exciting, except when they made the announcement, they said, by the way, it will only work in the US and Canada. So if you're out in the middle of Australia somewhere, bad luck. But the good news is that as of Monday this week, Australia has been added to the list of countries. We're the 13th country to be added to the list of countries that can allow that satellite service to work. And it's not designed to allow you to have a conversation and catch up. Hey, Pete, what are you doing this weekend? It's designed for an emergency. So if you're in the middle of nowhere and you'll see a little satellite symbol come up on the top right-hand corner, some people might have already seen it this week when they've been out and about out of reception. It means that you can contact emergency services, contact emergency contacts on your phone, and that will send them a message to say, this person's got an emergency, here are the details, and here's the exact location of that person. So that'll go to the emergency services and to people that you've nominated in emergency contacts. The other way it can be used, not in an emergency, is with the Find My features on Apple phones and iPads and watches, etc. So if you want to track where someone is, you've obviously got them in your family group or be able to log onto the account, and it will actually see where they are via satellite rather than having to be near a mobile phone tower. So that's a pretty exciting feature.
And it's only on Apple?
Only on Apple at this stage, and I'm sure what often happens is that one manufacturer comes up with a feature and then the other ones copy it. So you'll see that on Google phones before too much longer.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I don't expect to have the conversation, but certainly having the ability to call for help is a great relief.
Yeah, it is, exactly right. And one of the things I've found when I've used satellite phones is you hire a satellite phone or you buy one to use in the middle of nowhere, and the reception's not great, and you've got to be out in the open air and point the antenna in the right direction, and they're expensive, so you end up giving up on them. But you do like that bit of security about having a satellite service when you're out in the middle of the Simpson Desert, for example.
Yeah. Now, we were just having an interview about social enterprise and the benefits that with a festival coming up in Sydney on the 27th of May. But I note that we're looking at a permanent EV charging road. How does this work?
Yeah, it's in Sweden, and there's been a bit of testing done over the last couple of years, and it's happening around the world in different places, not in Australia at this stage, but in Sweden they've tested 3 different types of charging roads, and they think they've probably got it to the point now, and they've been short test roads they've been doing it on, where they want to build a 13-mile stretch of highway that will charge vehicles as they go on it. Now, more than likely, the 3 different testing methods they've used, the most likely one they're going to use for this 13-mile section is inductive charging. So just the same as you charge your mobile phone by putting it on a wireless charger, they'll actually put coils under the road for a 13-mile stretch. The car that you drive will have to have an inductive coil mounted on the underside of it, which is a common thing that people are doing with EVs now. And as you drive over that road, it will charge the car as you drive. Now, that sounds pretty cool, but it actually has some really practical outcomes. The research being done by the Chalmers University of Technology in Sweden says that you can probably reduce the battery size in an EV by about 70%, which will reduce the price of the car quite dramatically because you won't need to have as long a range on your car before charging. So it sounds pretty exciting.
Absolutely. Like the old Scalextric trucks, a bit of, wire underneath it on the car. So that'll work as well.
Well, that was one of the testing methods they used, Pete, was one where you actually had a trench in the middle of the road and apart from the car, drop down into that trench. But they actually think the inductive coil will probably be the way they'll go.
Yeah, amazing. Smart solution for smartphones. What's this?
Distracted strollers you're talking about there. 7,000 deaths in the year 2020 from pedestrians in the US. I just get blown away by that number. And many of those people have got their head buried in their phone. So this is a solution to allow you to have an alert pop up on your phone, audio and visual, to tell you that you're getting near the edge of a footpath or a sidewalk in America, and be alerted to look up and live, essentially.
Oh, gosh. You'd think that they would just turn around and put the phone down, wouldn't you?
Technology solutions for a technology problem, Pete.
I appreciate it. Matthew Dickerson, thank you so much, and I'm sure you'll talk to Nick next time around. I appreciate your time. Matthew Dickerson, looking at technology on 97.3 ABC Laura.
Merrill Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.